Today, we're going to talk about how to turn your hustle into full-time income. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're back to the regular scheduled time. This is something that many people struggle with, and I'm going to tell you exactly why they struggle with it. First and foremost, many people do not respect their hustle. And what I mean by that is they'll say things like, oh, this is just something I do on the side. Or this is some that, for a little extra money for JoJo. There's all of this language, and I want you to understand, language is huge. It is huge in terms of where you go with your hustle. And let's talk about hustling. I was doing business with, and I had this on, right? And then the conversation made a left towards the hustler's mindset, the word hustle, and on and on and on. Now, what's funny is we eventually closed the deal, but there was this connotation. I think hustle is the most important word for anyone that's trying to start something, that's trying to build something, that's trying to create something. It's a very, very important word because hustle is action. It is taking action and doing something that you weren't doing before. Hustle is just crazy important. And you know it's funny. I see people that want to be hustlers but are conflicted with the word. As long as you're conflicted with the word, you are going to have problems. Also, for those of you who need a little extra help hustling for insanely helpful stuff, click show more under the video. Tons of stuff there, good things to help you get your mind right, learn how to flip stuff, make money online, so on and so forth. So with that, let's just jump into how to turn your hustle into a full-time income. Number one, you must respect your hustle. Let me say that again. You must respect your hustle. If you continue to downgrade, marginalize, say it ain't really anything, it's never going to be full-time income because you don't respect it. You see it as, I'm going to give you a great example. You're dating this girl, or if you're a girl, you're dating this guy. Well, no, dating is the wrong word. You're fucking. You met this person and they are just your personal fuck toy. Now, the fuck toy wants to become the main choice, the filet mignon, the entree, but you got them at fuck toy status. It's very hard for someone who's in fuck toy status to elevate to the main deal. That's the same thing with your hustle. If you treat your hustle like a fuck toy, it's something fun. Or I've even seen people who do something that's like, well, if I were to do that, that would seem like too much like work. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it to the side, Losers talk. I don't really want to push it because, it's just good for side money. Loser talk. If you continue to play those mental gymnastics with yourself, they will manifest into a physical reality. Case in point, when I got in the storage auction game long time ago, this guy at the auction, never saw him before, and he's like, but he heard about me. This is just a few months because I was just asking questions, and back then people didn't talk to you. There wasn't the sharing of information that is today. And he said, you're doing okay, but don't make this into a full-time income. It'll just break your heart. And I said, well, that's my intention. And that's what I told him and walked off. I didn't realize at the time how important that was. I didn't know anything. I was brand new to the game, had no clue to the potential profits. I was just out there doing stuff because it was fun and I enjoyed myself. But my intention from day one was to turn it into full-time income. And I remember we were at Chantilly. It was a public storage property. And I drove up and I was just talking about my intentions. And then that's where some people like Sonia and some other folks started talking to me. And I treated it like a business from day one. And eventually, Sonia and other people, we became business and trading partners. So your intention is of supreme importance for you to develop your hustle into full-time income. Now, there are some hustles, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen because you don't want to do it. You, like I said, some people just do, they may have a talent. I know someone who can decorate cakes, does a great job, hates it, can do it well, but absolutely hates it because you got to do this, you got to go about it. She does not enjoy it. She can do it, but she doesn't enjoy it. She just does it as favors for people because they ask. It's not a good hustle to turn into full-time income because, you know, she does it maybe 4 or 5 times a year, if that, and that's it. Got the skills, and that's something else. If you can do something and you don't have the mental strength to push through it, because I absolutely hated doing YouTube videos in the beginning. It was just like burning my ass. I said, oh God, I got to do a new video today. But the more videos I do, the more hits I get on the blog. The more hits I get on the blog, the more books I sell. I had to struggle through that process, and it was arduous. It was long. It was rough. It was a lot to it. It was definitely a lot to it. But everybody can't power through the roughness, the patch of roughness. So the second part of turning your hustle into full-time income is you got to like it. I'm not going to say you have to be in love with it. I don't have to say you have to, but you got to like it. You got to like it, or you develop the mental strength to do things that you're not particularly fond of, but you love the results. Now, that's another angle. If you love the results, but you're not particularly fond of it, you can do well. Because if you become very results driven, then the process doesn't really matter. But many people are not at that point. They're not there yet. And then you also realize that you can change, because see, this is something else. Like I said, I'm not a reseller. I've been saying it for the last 3 years, but people keep, well, you look like a reseller and other resellers like you, so you gotta be a reseller. I don't care what you say, you're a reseller. Fuck what you want to do with your life. Fuck you and your dreams. Just, oh man, it's funny. But I'm not a reseller. I'm an information product creator and seller. That's what I do, and that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. But part of that is you have to define yourself. You cannot just say, well, this is all I can do, or this is good enough. That language is so important. How you talk to yourself, the things that you put out there is so important. So important. So understand that when you're doing this, you've got to have the proper mindset. It is critically important that you have the proper mindset. Next thing you have to do to turn your hustle into full-time income is you have to have goals and deadlines, because this is one of the things that it's like saving money. You hear about it. It's supposed to be super simple. But if it was simple, why isn't everyone doing it? And I got the stats on that. There was this survey done just a few years ago. Over 60% of the people who answered the survey, if they had to get their hands on $2,000 cash within 30 days, not like you need to go get that 10 minutes from now, but within 30 days, 67% of the people could not raise two grand cash. Couldn't do it. So when I saw that, that told me a lot about people's savings habits, because essentially $2,000 ain't shit. I know if you don't have it, it might as well be 2 million, but in the grand reality, $2,000 ain't shit. It really isn't. And I say that because I also made a statement that some people just get all wrinkled up when I said, most of you will never see $10,000 cash money on the table in your hand that doesn't have to go somewhere like that. Now, notice how I'm going to say it again slowly, because one of the things that I'm seeing is people will like do the news thing, will take a sound bite and leave out everything else. Most of you will not see $10,000 on the table, cash money, because you don't have discipline. Because there was a comment like, you don't want your people to be successful. Like if I see someone who's fat and go, they're fat. Oh, you don't want to be skinny. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? One of the problems, and this is another thing, and I'm not going to let this turn into a rant, but this is one of the problems. If you're so weak-minded, so sensitive that if someone tells you the truth, not a slam, not an insult, but the truth, and you lose your fucking mind, you are never going to be as successful as you could be. You will never, ever, 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 ever. I had someone tell me many years ago that if I was a real hustler, I would be working 24/7. And I wasn't. I was working 8 hours a day and considered myself a hustler. You are not a hustler if you only work 8 hours a day. You're not a hustler. It can't be. There's too many hours to be getting it. So, and I had to go like, why you want to talk about me like that? It was true. And I had to deal with that. And I immediately adjusted my behavior, because this is the thing. There's a handful of people in this life who will truly care about you. And when one of the people, because like I listen to nobody that I don't know, and typically a lot of advice that I get here about, give you an example. Don't do long videos. When I go into my dashboard, 60 something% of y'all, and thank you, watch the most of the video. I got like a 60% watch through rate. Now my videos are 15, 20, 30. So I got people like my overall views. I hit like 2 million minutes per month of people actually watching videos on this channel. 2 million. So on the outside, you hear people who are rooted in the old YouTube of short video. But since I walk to my own beat, and I walk to the beat of numbers, because if the numbers say, hey dude, crank those videos down, you'll do better. Guess what? I did that and I lost stuff. I lost a lot. Are these videos for everybody? No. And that's another part of turning your hustle into a full-time income. You cannot act like everyone else and expect different results. And that's the thing that kills me with some people here who are doing certain selling activities. You're with everyone else. And the number of whining, everything I said about eBay has come to pass. Everything, every last thing I said. But, people still keep hope alive. And that's another part of turning your hustle into a full-time income. You have got to deal with reality. You got this camel-toed bougie-ass sofa, and you've put it on Craigslist 80 million times and no one's bought. You've changed. It's shit. You got to throw it away or give it away. You've listed it. You've done your research. You've taken great pictures. You've tried several different, and nobody wants the shit. There's certain things that nobody just wants, or unless it's a certain price point, nobody's going to buy. I've had to break my face on that concept so many times because I overspent. Because this conversation of when do you make your money? You make your money when you buy, because the price that you buy that item will never ever change, but the price that you will sell it at, oh baby, 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 it could change. It could go up, hopefully, or it's going to come down, which happens a lot. So you make your money when you buy, because that price does not change. You can't do anything to it. No, that's when you make your money. But you cannot do the same things that everyone else is doing. You can't do it. You just can't. And expect to turn your hustle into full-time income. Also, you got to own your hustle. All right, I'll say this, and a lot of people hate it. Glendon 007, which is the first name of this channel before they allowed me to put the Glendon Hammer, was designed for the express purposes of selling my information products. I created this channel to do what it does. And some people are like, oh God, he's trying to sell me some. Fuck yeah. Yes, that's the purpose of the channel. That's why I created this. That's like saying, you're mad at a bullet for shooting. Oh shit, it shot. What? That's just crazy. That's totally crazy. And you get this kind of nonsense that happens because people live in the fantasy world. They live in a world of shame and lack. For those of you that didn't know, today is October 20th, and we're getting toward the 2-week month. The 2-week deadline. We're getting, more than 2 weeks, where you can get the Hustler Kung Fu Special. It's $450, 19 plus courses. And there's another bonus that I'm going to add. Links below the video. You can grab that today and immediately begin changing your life. Now, as we talk about turning your hustle into a full-time income, the big question is, how much money do you want to make? How much? When I was in the storage auction business, I had an income goal, which I did not meet for a long time. And, this is once again, the mentality, the mental strength. There are some people that, let's say the number is this. It's down here. It's really little what you're actually making. But what you want to make is here. And there are people who look at this space between here and here and get depressed. You have to toughen up. Life is, at no point in history have we as humans had it so easy. And those of us who live in the Western hemispheres, you used to have to get up, go out and kill a deer or hunt down a bear to eat. And then you had to, not only, you couldn't eat it all. You couldn't eat it all. You had to put salt and stuff on it and hang it up and let it cure so you would have meat for the winter. Do you understand that people spent 12 to 15 hours of the day doing shit for food? There was no Quickie Mart. There was no Publix. There was no Kroger. There was no Aldi. There was no place you can hop in your car in 5 minutes. You go in there and there's like all of this food. That didn't exist into refrigeration and process. This stuff is relatively new in the last 200 years of mankind. This is relatively new stuff. So when you think you have it hard, unless you've got cancer or some other debilitating illness, if you're just poor, you don't have it hard. I know, no. People are gonna be like, oh no, poor people have it hard. No, if you're just poor and you have good health and you can work, you're in a good position to get the things you want in life. It's just reality. Now that's going to be like, oh God, that's harsh. I can never, ever be as harsh to you as life will be to you. I can't even get close. I can't even give you the heartbreak that's going to happen to you from failed relationships, betrayal of family, business things, all kinds of lifelong disappointments. I can never be that harsh. So when I say these things, it's to give you a better vantage point of what really is going down. So you want to turn your hustle into full-time income. And I'm going to use the word be realistic. And when I say realistic, not realistic in it won't work, but realistic in what you need to make it work. Say you have an ice cream cart. Okay. And you live in a place that has 4 seasons. You have a seasonal business. So your cart, just throwing numbers out there. I've never had an ice cream cart. You have one cart, and per season, that one cart does $20,000. So how many carts do you need if you want to make 100 grand? And then you're going to go 5. Wrong. No, you're going to need 7 to 8 because you have to account for the salaries of the people who would be manning the other carts. See, that's what people do is quick math or comfortable math. 5 carts will generate $20,000. 7 carts will generate 140,000. 8 will generate a 160. 7 to 8 to account for the salaries of those other people pushing those other carts, or preferably 10. Probably 10 would be safe. Excuse me. 10 would probably be safer for you to properly secure your income goal. And that's the real math. That's the reality. I'm not saying you can't do it with an ice cream cart. There's plenty of people who are doing it with candy bars. The deal is be realistic with the numbers of how much you want to make. Say you like doing ballroom dancing, you like teaching it, and you make, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks an hour, whatever they make, and you want to make an annual income of 50,000. You take 50,000 and you divide that $30 per hour. Then you come up with how many hours you have to work to make that. Then you have to factor in another 40% on top of that because of there's peaks, valleys, and lows. So this is the thing. People don't do the reality math. Give you an example for me. When I want to make X amount of dollars, I already know how many courses I have to sell. It's none of this as many as possible shit. No. And the reality is, and I learned this from the book, my first book, because that's something else. Because when I start Intellectual Property Dojo, I'm going to get into all of that stuff. And one of the reasons I waited, because everybody jumped on the Kindle bandwagon. All these folks jumped on, and I knew there was going to be all of this hype. Writing books is a long process, and many people just aren't built for it. But I will give you some tricks and tips in Intellectual Property Dojo. But I learned from that first book that first year, only 2,000 customers. Now, you go to any publishing company and talk about selling 2,000, they're not going to talk to you because there's the publisher, the owner, the secretary, the editor. There's all of these layers of cost that don't exist when you self-publish. They just don't. And I'm not talking, we even talk about a way to edit your book that will blow your mind. But essentially, $2,000 that has to be divided 10, 12, 15 ways. 2,000 sales that has to be divided into 12 different people. It's not that exciting, but 2,000 sales at $59.99 divided by 1 is pretty exciting. And those are the things you got to do that math, because I'm always like math driven. And this is something else, and I'm just going to speak on it. How can you consider yourself your personal hero when you're so sensitive that someone you don't know, doesn't know your situation, drives you so crazy that you turn into a little bitch into the comments? Seriously, what is up with that? Because when I look at it, because I really read more than I watch videos. I watch a lot of videos, but I read way more. And you've got people who, how can I say this? Who aren't doing their research. Give you an example. When I wrote my first book, I got tore up in the reviews and stuff, and they're still on Amazon. You go check it out. Just put Glendon Cameron, go to Amazon, you'll see all that stuff. And I learned a very valuable lesson. The world doesn't stop. You got people who don't have power, and this goes into hustling, because real hustling, okay, I got to change this stand. Real hustling give you power. And what I mean by that is when you figure out how to make money from your own creativity, from your own efforts, and then it becomes a repeatable event, your confidence level is like, whoa. Your attitude is like, whoa. And you become impervious to a lot of stuff that goes out there, because it's not true. You have this, I don't even, okay. All right. Hopefully you will stay. Be a good boy. Stay. And you just develop this different way of viewing the world. You develop this different concept of how things should be, because typically, as you go forward in life, it's not going to be what happens to you. It's going to be how you handle it. And I strongly advise everyone to embrace adversity. Embrace it. The more adversity that you embrace and then you learn from and you build upon, you become like a super saiyan. You become like Gokhan at power level of 4,000. But if you continue to run away from hard things and you continue to avoid stuff, and I don't want to deal with that, at some point, you're going to have to deal with it. It's not going to go away. You're going to have to deal with it. And the sooner that you just take it on, like my business dealing with this person, I just went straight into it. Yeah, I'm a hustler. Just said that. And he was kind of like, because it's the honesty that gets me through. Because I don't have to remember what I said, because it's what I said is what I did. That stuff is congruent. And we ended up having a very good business meeting and things went well because I own this stuff. I embrace it. And then it's also about education. See, to turn your side income into a hustle takes a lot of responsibility. And this is one of the things that I constantly see over and over again is people do not want to accept the responsibility that it takes to earn the money that they want. You cannot earn a lot of money and not be responsible to a lot of people. It's impossible. There's going to be a certain level of responsibility. That's why you get these folks online. And this is why on this channel, I've been very basic, because, and when I say basic is, this is how it is. And I've said, told things that were true that if I didn't say, not necessarily lied, just didn't say, I would have made more sales. But I play the long game, because when I was doing all of the storage auction videos, I said it was hard. You had to be a tough person. I never went ahead and go like, oh, it's easy. So there was other people who were selling information products. Oh, it's not that hard. It's easy. None of them are still around anymore. None of them. Because I play the long game. And see, that's part of turning your side income into a hustle. What's the long game? Sometimes for the long game to work, you must take less money now. And that's a big problem for many people. So, whoa. Less money? Motherfucker, please. I'm trying to get as much money as possible. What are you talking about? Less money? Once again, recently, Walmart put out some stuff, and they were going to do this buyback program. And this is how it works. When the company's buying back their stock, they're gaining more control. Walmart's not going out of business, because it's like, yeah, Amazon's killing Walmart. Walmart's not going out of business. I love Amazon. I don't shop at Walmart because I don't like the Walmart experience. But whenever I go there on those rare occasions, it is always full. There's always people in there buying. And Walmart's going to work on their internet infrastructure. Now, see, this is the thing. Amazon has revenues, valuation revenues, whatever, that's a little bit bigger than Walmart. However, Walmart has been in business decades longer than Amazon, and Walmart has made several people billionaires. So they're not going anywhere soon. They may become smaller, because if they become more efficient, they will become smaller, because efficiency will mean you can make more money with less. But they're taking this hit because the stock price went down and analysts were saying this, but Walmart's going for the long game. They're making capital investments, improving areas that they're weak, and taking a hit for the long game. So for you to turn your side income into a hustle, you might have to take a hit of 2 to 3 years where you're working your ass off and not making that much money as you learn stuff. Essentially, This is the reality. This is called delayed gratification, which is it's a hard pill to swallow for many people because it's just like, hey, I got to get it. I got to get it. I got to get it. That's the reason. And, with my courses, because I got someone talking about, I bought your course. There's 19, well, let's just say there's 15 courses, right? That are done and others in process. When you buy the Hustler's Kung Fu deal, you're buying courses, not a course. And I say that this is another thing. And this is one of the reasons for the honesty. I have built physical businesses and I've built an online business, and it's going to be hard. I know I just lost some money by saying that. You're not going to just do it in 30 days. You're going to have to work your ass off. You're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. But there are many people who are looking for something so cheap and so simple that they're not in the long game because attention spans are just garbage today. This is one of the reasons I don't watch a lot of television. This is one of the reasons, at least one day off the week, I turn Facebook off. I don't do anything online. At least one day a week, just completely off, get on the phone, talk to my friends, go visit people. Because your attention, see, this is something else. You want to know why Facebook works? Because it pushes a reward trigger in your hindbrain. Every time something flashes and you get this little, ooh, and it becomes an addiction. So you have to be quickly and easily stimulated. The problem with that is long term, it makes it hard for you to concentrate on one thing. Now, the people who built Facebook, YouTube, all these people have amazing powers of focus and concentration. So what they're selling you, if they took, they couldn't be as successful as they are. So, at least once a week, tune out, turn off Facebook, turn off Twitter, turn off YouTube, and just go out and live. But with the thing of being successful, it's a long-term journey because I read the same things that you read. People create an app, make $150,000. I think the guy that created Angry Birds or some game was making $50,000 a month. And one thing is, I always do follow up. Always go back and see what's going on a little later. And a lot of these tactics, these hype things, they don't last long. Now, if you the creator of the game was making 50,000 per day. I'm sorry, that was wrong. 50,000 per day. Now, at 50,000 per day, $500,000 every 10 days. If that lasts a year and you properly invest, you don't have to do anything else. And that happens. I know of one guy legitimately doing 200,000 a month, lives very simple because the word is he knows this is not going to last forever. So he's investing a shitload, as much money as he can, which is smart because he knows it's not going to last forever. My thing, and going back to hustling, mindset, mentality, and pivoting. Let's say you, Molly, the maker, have gone out here and you've created something and you've done well. But if you're looking at your numbers, you're going to know if you're going up or down. And when, like Molly, when I was looking at the storage auction thing, I'll just be straight up honest. I am completely shocked at how much money I made with the resale product stuff. It lasted way longer than I thought it would because storage auctions are fucking hard. I was just like, wow, this shocks the shit out of me. See, I was prepared for it to disappear, which is the reason for the pivots and the reason that I do the things I do. Because if I want to be a long-term internet businessman, I'm going to have to roll with the punches, pivot, do this, dodge, parry, and thrust to stay, relevant. And I knew that resale information wasn't going to be it because I'll just give it to you. Most people who get in resale don't get into resale so much out of, I love it. There's some people who love the stuff. They just love going out and collecting and tinkering and old things. I've seen these people. They just got this glow when they find something that's in perfect condition from 1930. They love that shit. Okay, that ain't most of you. Most of you like, I need to make some money. and I need a system and a process. That's where a lot of people, and I knew it, and that's straight up, I made a lot of money off that. But the deal is, how long can you keep doing that stuff? This is the reason I've been saying for the last 3 years, I'm not a reseller, but people keep lumping me in there because they come through the channel, they watch the storage auction videos, then the related videos puts them off with other resellers, puts me off with the resellers. And that's the reason I make so many videos, because I figure I'm another year where there's going to be more of how to start an online business, how to start videos and stuff like this one. There'll be more of them than the storage auction stuff. And then the channel's weight is shifting, because when I look at stuff and it comes up related channels, it's not what it used to be. I am shifting. I am metamorphosizing into what they want to be. So it's and once again, I just said, I'm looking at another year to fully transition. And it's worth it to me. It's worth it. But once again, when you're thinking about turning your side income, your side hustle into a full-time income, you have to start thinking in terms of years, not weeks, not months, years. You have to look at your year-to-date sales. Like, okay, August 2014, you made $6,000, just to say $6,000. Then August 2015, you made $3,000. You're hustling backwards. Your numbers should appreciate from year to year, month to month. If they're not appreciating, something's wrong. Or you might be purposely looking at raw numbers. And raw numbers are numbers that you get from organic traffic. You're not advertising, you're not marketing. You want to just see where you are. Now, that's a tactic, and that's a process, and that's contrived because you thought about it. But if you're doing everything you can and your numbers are slipped like that, and the marketplace will do it to you. Sometimes you'll be working your ass off. And the marketplace will, if someone will come up with something new, someone will come out with something better and cheaper, they're gone. That's just reality. And that's one of the reasons that for turning that side hustle into full-time income is so hard for many people. Many people who want to turn their hustle into a full-time deal will say, well, I'm comfortable. They're not comfortable with it. They just don't believe it can happen, or they don't want to put in the work to make it happen. That's the question. That's the real issue, because if I'm going to tell you something, if you took your phone and you went ahead and got a subscription to Audible, and you bought the 2 books per month, and every month you bought 2 business books, marketing, sales, and you downloaded the books once you got your credits, and you listened to that book 5 to 10 times, and you did that for 6 months, you would know so much. You would know so much. You would be able to do so much. But you got to listen to the book, because your first pass, you're going to miss something. Your second pass, you're going to pick up some of the things you missed. Your third pass, you're going to even pick up more. I made money from a 5 minutes passage that I had missed on this webinar. And I went back and listened to it, because it was like, I think I got it, but I don't have it. And I'll listen to it again, and I'll listen to it again. See, this repetition, this is why I do a lot of repetition, because I know it works. If you take simple concepts and you have the ability to push forward with it, amazing things can happen. But that comes back to the power of concentration. And I'm going to just tell you something, and this is for my own benefit as well as yours. The people who watch my videos from start to finish, the long ones, tend to do better. And it's not because I'm brilliant, even though I want to say I'm brilliant. The fact is, they have great attention spans. If you can watch something for 55 minutes, absorb the content, then take the content and go out and be actionable, you're going to be successful than someone who's like, oh, fuck, a 55-minute video. Let me go look at these dancing cats. Yang, 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 yang. Oh, I like that cat. Look at Marmaduke. Oh, and that's something else. And this is just an observation. A lot of the people who hate me, when I go look at their channels, it's entertainment is first and business knowledge is second or non-existent. 9 times out of 10. I can almost tell by the comments what I'm going to find on that channel and go to the YouTube page. If they make their content, that information public, it's generally fuckery. Just like you eat bad food, you're not going to have the body you want. You continue to feed your brain bad mental food, you're not going to have the mentality that you want. It's not going to happen. You're going to find yourself limited. And the thing is, it's not because it's nature, it's because that's what you do. Because I look at some of the stuff here, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. That's kind of crazy. But this is what you have when you're dealing with people who don't fully understand how the world really works. They have somewhat of a concept of hopes, dreams, and ambition, but the reality is we live in a quid pro quo world. What are you going to do for me? You would not watch these videos if there was not some benefit. You're like, well, I like blending, so I'm just going to suffer through all this video. Bullshit. Bullshit. If there wasn't no good stuff here, you wouldn't watch. And that's cool because it's real. That's cool. That's 100% cool. But, you talk to some people and it's like, it's just hard, but we should all be down for it. No. No. You go to a city, large city, and watch how many people ignore and pretend that homeless people are not there. That's the real. That's why when people are like, well, it's about helping and we should. Bullshit. People put up YouTube videos are looking for some kind of payoff. It may be an emotional payoff, it may be a financial payoff, or it may be a combination of both. But they're looking for a payoff because the people who are truly 100% altruistic, who do these things, I'll give you an example. Terminal 99, he puts up all kinds of content. You'll never hear him say, I'm doing this video and it's free content. You don't have to buy anything. What they're saying is, I want you to listen to me and trust me because I need that emotional high that I get from seeing my view count go up. Think about it. How many people just get up and go out and help people? Let me ask you something. Have you ever bought a meal for a stranger? Have you ever bought someone groceries? Have you ever just pulled out your card and helped a stranger? I've done that shit. Don't do it every day. I do it every now and then. It feels good. Have you ever done that? If you haven't and you're all with the kumbaya stuff, you're full of shit, because where you can go out, and I'm going to tell you something, do it today. Go out and buy someone. It could be at McDonald's, Waffle House, and like, hey, I got your meal today. You have a great day, and walk off. Watch how that person acts. They will act like they won the lottery. I mean, this shit just blows my, oh, really? Oh my God. It's like $10. It's like 10. I think the most I ever paid was like $50 for someone's meal. And people freak the fuck out because it doesn't happen that often. So do it today. No, seriously. Go out, buy a stranger a meal, and see what happens, and put it in the comments. So for those of you who are still here, we're going. Essentially, there's some confusion about my consulting services, and I thought I would make a short video to give you an idea of what's going on. Business consulting, business coaching, what I can do for you and you and you and you. Because many people are coming in and they have some expectations that I messed up and put those expectations in your head. So I'm going to reach in your head and rattle it around and pull them out and just throw them away like they're gone. Number one, I'm not doing any eBay consulting. I don't know. People keep saying, hey, I hate fucking eBay, okay? I fucking hate eBay. eBay. Why would I consult? Why would I even? No, it makes no sense. Amazon consulting. No, I don't do Amazon consulting. There's tons of people who do eBay coaching, Amazon coaching. I'm not one of them. I'm the guy that believes in having your own website. I'm the guy that believes in creating and using internet assets to build your stuff. Not using someone else's, because I think even in the beginning, they're very good and they make you money. But at some point, they bite you in the ass. So at some point, if you're going to do this thing, you must have your own internet properties. At some point, you have to have it. So why not do that first? And if you still feel the urge, that little scratch to go through the third-party platform, do it. But Work on your own stuff. So just get that clear. I don't fuck with eBay. I don't mess around with Amazon. And what do? I am a strategist. I am a growth person. I do business development. Strategy, why are we doing what we're doing? And create a roadmap to get you from point A to point B. Because many people are so in their business that they can't see their business. It's like, I can't see the inside of this shirt because I got it on. It's kind of like where many of you are with your business. You're so invested in it and you're so close to it, you can't see it because you're in it. So with me, I'm like, okay, that's going on. Hold on, oh yeah, you got that going on in there too. So that's where the strategy comes from, because many small business owners have me syndrome. I can figure it out. I'm the smartest person. No, you can't figure it out. If I didn't come across Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field, Tony Robbins, Tommy Hopkins, there were so many mentors that I picked up along the way because I couldn't figure it out. And there are many of you who's like, I'm going to figure it out. And what you're going to run into is an information ceiling. The information that you have is only going to get you here. And that's it. You're not going any further. You're not building any further because it's just you. I want you to think about something. And I've said this and no one has mentioned it in the comments since I've been doing YouTube. I started in the storage auction business with a partner from day one. It was never just me. There's always been additional elements to my business success. I had a partner. I had a very good partner who was an accountant. Okay, let's talk about that. So the business was properly structured, account set up, banking from day one. That's one of the reasons that I was able to beat the Clampetts and these other people, because we had proper business protocols from day one. It makes a huge difference, which means if you're just thinking you can do it by yourself, and there's some of you who are brilliant and you'll get it done by yourself, but the truth of the matter is most of you will not. That's reality. Not hating, just stating. So growth. You got a business that's going on, but there's this disconnect between the internet and certain people. Because I've said this before, you'll see someone, they're doing really great out there in the real world, but they can't really get it on the internet because the internet is a separate business, as I talked about in another video. Actually, that video is in Hustle University. Sorry about that. It's a different animal. It's different. It's like different section of the matrix with its own rules and regulations. So seriously, if you have a physical business and you have an internet business, you have two businesses. You don't have one. You have two. And if you treat them as two distinct businesses, you're going to get more traction. So business development. What are we going to do? What can we do? There's many times you want to start a business, and once you start getting feedback from the world, it will lead you to start another business or another service or another product. Many people get scared and they'll be like, I'm going to do what I want to do because it's a dream. Versus taking the feedback, they ignore it, and they crash, and they just go boom. So I'm the guy that's like your guide, your shogun. I just show you the way. I can help you build up so many things. Now, this is something you really need to do before you contact me, because many people, and that's why I'm doing this video, ask yourself, what kind of life do you want? Now, this is going to sound offensive, but if you are more concerned with creating some business processes to get some money and forget the whole lifestyle planning, I don't want to work with you. And this is why. Because you'll build up that business, and because you neglected the lifestyle planning, you're going to end up in the same place you were today emotionally. Even your business might be humming along, you might be making money, and just to put a dark moment on that, sometimes when people are fantastically wealthy from a fiscal standpoint, but their soul has poverty, their spirit is bankrupt, sometimes these people kill themselves with millions of dollars in the bank. Just to let you know, that shit doesn't mean anything when your total life isn't together. So if you don't want to work on the lifestyle planning, because that's something I require. Like, what kind of life do you want? How do you want to live? What kind of hours you work? And people are like, well, I don't want that. I just want, give me the stuff to make some money and then shut the fuck up and get on. I don't want to work with you. If that's your thing, there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of business consultants. Go find one, because I'm going to put you through that process. And it's a good process because I put myself through the process, and that's the reason I don't have to deal with traffic. That's the reason I get to work at home. That's the reason in the middle of the day I go work out in the gym, because I don't have to deal with certain things because it was all part of a plan, a lifestyle plan. I don't want to drive. I don't want to commute. So I created a business to serve those needs. Now, why is that important? Brings your stress level from. I get in traffic, I don't get road rage because I'm not exposed to that. I'm not exposed to that all the time. So that's very, very important. Less stress, less wear and tear on your spirit and body. You can't replace this. It renews itself, but the less stress you put on it, and there's good stress and there's bad stress, but the less bad stress you put on it, the longer, the healthier you are. To me, that's incredibly important. Maybe not to you, but to me, it's incredibly important. So, lifestyle planning. So, another part of this is, where do you want to go? What kind of business? I mean, where do you want to go? What are you doing? Do you want to save whale? I mean, what? What is your thing? What do you want to do? Because there are many people who's just like what I call a get money hustler. I just want to make some money because I have an immediate financial need and I need to solve that problem. Now, I don't want to work with you. Number one, you're broke. Just straight up, you're broke. You don't have any money to pay me, and you will work the shit out of me with no money. I did it a few times just to be charitable, and it was one of the worst experiences because when you are not only fiscally broke, your spirit may be broke. Money comes and goes, but it's hard to fix a broken spirit. It may never be fixed. I don't have those kind of powers. So you need to come to me with some kind of intact stuff, some things that you're working on. So I can't do that. I just can't do that. It's just crazy. Now, how much money do you want to make? I ask people this all the time, and I get the the owl look is the standard answer is as much as possible. That's a bullshit answer. It's very hard to quantify as much as possible. That gets you nowhere. You know, today $30 will be as much as possible, and then your mind's like, okay, that's as much as possible, and then that's where you are. You need to have a number. You gotta have a number. The number helps you tremendously. It forces you to focus. Forces you to look at things from a critical standpoint. Just, I want to make as much money as possible. Oh, I just hope to be happy. Oh, I hope to eat. Oh, I hope to have gas in my car. You go nowhere with that. Nowhere. So, nowhere you're going, have a number, and we'll just start from there. And also, let's talk about the process. It takes me time to figure out who you are, where you want to be. And that's part of the process because a lot of people email me and they want to talk. And I'll see the email and I can just tell from that first email that this is a 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 20-hour deal. If your life is fucked up, and it's been fucked up for a while, it's not going to become unfucked in an hour. It's not happening. So you got to invest in yourself. If you don't want to invest in yourself, that's fine. But don't expect me to invest in you when you don't want to invest in you. And that's what a lot of people do. It's like, hey, let's go to lunch. Hey, no. We need to do something. We need to make some stuff happen. And one of the beauties of having a lifestyle plan, I'm very blunt. I use profanity. I've been called unfucking professional, and I am unfucking professional. I have no desire to be fucking professional. I have a great desire to be me. And this is me. This is what you get. You meet me in the street. This is how I'm going to be. When business deals, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to help you make more money. I'm going to help you have a better life. There's benefit because I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. Because if you're paying me, I'm going to tell you about yourself, and we're going to do the things to make your business good, which is another part. You need to have a business. You need to have a business. If you don't have a business, we are into business development planning, which takes hours. I cannot talk to you for 10 hours and get just a lunch. It's emotionally depleting because I want you to be successful. I'm rooting for you. I'm like, I got pom-poms. I'm cheering for you. And that's a long commitment. So with that, how do I get paid? Per hour, per project, if you have a project. And this is once again where you need to tell me what you're trying to do, because there are many people who's like, hey, I want to do this, and they'll give me what I call topical stuff, and only after the money's paid and the clock is really ticking that they start telling me the truth. They'll tell me what they think. It's like, well, hey, this is. I have had people that I didn't really find out the secret thing from them until the third conversation, because it's like this. It's like I put on my hat and I'm in the mind and I'm looking for stuff. Okay. Oh, you do this? Well, let's do this and this and this. I have to find this stuff out to help you, and many people are not used to being freaking honest with themselves. It's just like, well, I want honest with that. Everything else is just hooty hoo. So that's part of the process. So you gotta know. So get paid per hour, per project. And if you have a real business with real books and numbers, that means you have your accounts already set up. Or if I have to do it, I'll do an equity split. So say I improve your business X amount, then I get X amount with a monthly retainer. Because there are many people who's like, hey, let's do the equity thing. Then I'll work for a whole month. And this happened. I actually did this for someone, worked for a whole month, and they didn't want to pay me. And it wasn't because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I did it too well. Because when her husband saw how much more money, he had a problem. He's like, well, was it really worth that? I mean, we'll just throw you maybe, this is what the guy said to me. He said, $800. It was a $20,000 differential. And he was like, well, yeah, that's worth about $800. And I just pulled up my contract and said, well, if I go to court, I'm going to get all 20. And then I got paid what they were supposed to pay me. So that whole thing is, and that's when, and once again, in my business, I have learned that I must set expectations. So if we do something equity, it's going to be a contract. You need to get an attorney. You need to look at this stuff. And it'll be a simple contract. But that's the deal. If you want to do equity, there will be some money up front. Plus, there'll be a monthly retainer plus the equity per month. I go per month because when I was doing per quarter, that got a little dicey. So those are the three modes of how I get paid. Now, let's talk about life coaching. I get this all of the time. If you're on my email address, e-list, you see this. I'll send out something, and there's people who want life coaching, and they want to be guinea pigs and all this other stuff, but they don't want to pay for it. I don't have to give away stuff for free anymore. 2009, yes. 2010, a little bit. I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm not. So if you want those services, fine. So, all right, as I always do, because if you stayed here this long, you're really interested, and you're not fucking a pussy. Fucking doesn't really bother you. Actually, you're probably going to be fucking tonight because you're a winner. So this is the deal.